Before we get started with the tutorial proper, we'll just cover how to get the video showing up effectively on your iPhone. If you haven't downloaded the tutorials, you will view them through YouTube, which can default to landscape orientation when it starts up. If this video loaded like this and is playing on its side at the moment, then tilt your iPhone onto its side and then back again to vertical. Once you have your video playing in the portrait orientation, it can be really small. However, if you tap on the screen, you will see a button like this in the top right corner. Tap it to zoom right in, and the video should now take up the whole screen. Welcome to Pocket Reporter Pro. This video will explain some of the basics of Pocket Reporter and show you how to set up your properties ready to be inspected. The Help button, which is represented by a question mark, is found on the Properties screen and the Report cover screen, and will launch tutorials like this one. For now, let's get started with the settings. Tap the cog icon to display the settings screen. Starting with the simpler settings, the default state and default country will be filled in automatically when you add a new property to your iPhone. These values are particularly important in regions where specific report formats are required, as the app will change the formats for you automatically. The Next Routine Period setting allows you to specify how regularly you inspect your properties. When you create a new inspection, the property's next inspection date will be set this many months ahead. Ingoing and outgoing reports will always have maximum quality images attached. Routine inspections, however, don't really need the same level of quality. In particular, if you intend on emailing your routine inspections from the device, you should reduce the image quality by sliding this left. The text below the slider will give you an indication of the size of the final report, but it is only an indication. If you attach a lot of photos, you will get a large report regardless of the quality of the images. Tapping on the logo here will launch the image picker and will allow you to select your office logo from the iPhone. Getting the logo onto your iPhone can be achieved through the iTunes photo sync as follows. Connect your iPhone to your computer and then select it in the devices list in iTunes. Click on the Photos tab. Check the Sync Photos From setting and select a folder on your computer. Place your office logo into that folder. Click the Apply or Sync button to send it to the iPhone. Once the image is synced, you can go back into the PRPro settings, tap on the logo, select Photo Library, and then tap on the image. Managers are the users of PRPro on the iPhone. Tap the accessory next to the current user setting to see the Managers screen. Add a new user and set their name and email address. If you have multiple managers, then the one with the running stickman is the current user. You can set a new user as the current user quite easily by tapping on them in this list. The links at the bottom of the settings screen take you to the Pocket Reporter FAQs, which answers some common questions about Pocket Reporter, our YouTube channel, which contains this and other tutorials, our Twitter feed, and our Facebook page for Pocket Reporter. We'd love to get some feedback here, and it will be the first place we announce exciting new developments for Pocket Reporter. Tapping back takes you back to the Properties list, where every inspection for PRPro begins. Before you can inspect a property, you need to add it into the app. It's a quick process, and once complete, all the inspections will be kept with it. Add a new property by tapping the plus button in the top right corner. This will create a new property, populate the state and country from your settings, and display it for you. Tap the accessory next to Address to edit the address of the property. Start by setting the street number and then tap Next and enter the street name. Tap Next or select a suburb accessory to show the suburb picker. If the suburb you need isn't showing in the picker wheel, hit the Add button and add it in with its default postcode, then tap Done. Once you have selected the suburb, tap the Done button on the picker and the suburb and postcode will be set for this property. You can change the state and country if you'd like, but for now you've done everything you need to begin inspecting the property. There is some optional information that you can set on this screen which will make the app easier to use and also make your reports richer. The first is the inspection date, which will default to today when you add a property. If you want to organise your inspections, you can set their dates and they will be grouped in the property list for you. Tap the calendar button and the inspection date picker will be displayed. Change the date and tap Done and the new inspection date will be displayed. You can set a cover page photo for the property by tapping here, but it can also be set during the inspection later. If the address is recognised, it will become a blue link here. Holding down on the link will open up maps, allowing you to see where the property is and get directions. Adding owners to the property will allow you to easily email reports to them, as well as keep track of their contact information and keep notes about them. Once you've tapped the Add Owner button, you will see a list of clients who have already been added to the app. Search for and select the owner if they are in this list, or tap the New button to create a new client. Set their name and tap Next. To add a new phone number, tap the plus button or simply start typing the number in the new phone box. You can change the type of the number by tapping on the type and selecting the new type before tapping Done. Tap Next when you are done with this phone number. Tap Next without entering a new phone number to go to the new email box. To add a new email, tap the plus button or simply start typing the address in the new email box. Tap Next when you are done. Tap Next without entering an email to go into the General Notes pad. Enter any general information that is relevant to the client here and tap Next. You can enter time-stamped contact notes by typing in the New Contact Note box and tapping Done. Tap Done on the keyboard or in the top right corner to finish editing the client. Tapping on a phone number when reviewing a client will give you the options to either call or send a text message to that number. A contact note will be recorded when you use either of these options, although unfortunately we can't record the contents of the text message, so you may like to copy that information while you are sending the text and then manually paste it into the contact notes. You can also easily send an email, although similarly to text messaging, we can't record the contents of the email. When you've finished reviewing a client, tap the back button to return to the previous screen. Next, you can add a lease for the incoming tenants. Tap the accessory button next to the current lease at the bottom right corner. Tap the Add Lease button in the top right corner, set the start date, tap Next, set the end date, and finally tap the Done button. Once a lease has been added, you can add tenants to the lease. It's the same process as adding owners. You can edit owner, lease, or tenant details by tapping the accessory buttons, and you can delete them by swiping across them and pressing the Delete button. A client will only be permanently deleted once they have been removed from all properties they own and leases they are tenants on. There are a couple of final important pieces of information about the properties list. The first is that the standard list only shows properties that are set to be inspected from today onwards. This means if a property's inspection date falls into the past, they won't automatically show up. That's where the search comes in. Tap on the search and type any part of the address, and any matches will show up instantly. If you ever add a property accidentally or find that you no longer need a property, you can delete it by swiping across the property in question and then pressing the Delete button that appears. Once a property is deleted, it is completely gone, so this should not be done lightly. You can edit the details of any existing property by tapping on its accessory. Once you've entered all of the information you need for a property, it's time to begin inspecting it. Tapping on the property will take you to the list of inspections for that property. PRPro will keep a comprehensive list of the inspections you undertake for each property. These reports can be found here in the Reports list. They are displayed from the most recent inspection to the oldest inspection, with colours indicating the different types of inspections. You can delete any report by swiping across it and tapping the Delete button. Once a report is deleted, it is completely gone, so this should not be done lightly. You can begin a new inspection by tapping the plus button in the top right corner, or you can edit an existing report by tapping on the report in the list. Either way, you will be on the report cover page screen, where your next tutorials await.